Well, it's time for Ask the Attorneys, a new segment here on TOA. We have Taylor Meadows with us today, and we've got Brad Howell. They are with Palmer, Meadows, and Howell. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here.
Thank you for having us.
You know, we're talking about tax assessment today. It's a big topic on people's minds. Tax day, obviously, just this past week, last Thursday, the 15th. So, Brad, I'm going to start with you. You know, the number one question I think people probably try to find out is, how does the IRS go about contacting you in this situation?
Well, there are a couple of ways that they'll actually contact you. The first is that they may send you a Form CP-2000. And essentially what that is it'll lay out what their proposed assessment is for you. And when they do this, it's possibly you've had a miscalculation on your return, or you made an overpayment or an underpayment. Also, they may find some sort of documentation from a third party, such as a W-2 that was submitted that you didn't report on your return. So what they'll do is they'll set up a proposed changes for you, and you'll have a chance to respond to that to either deny or accept their changes as they've made them.
How common is that goes on?
It's relatively common. Now, more often than not, however, they will send you a notice that you have had some sort of assessment made and that you are required to make a payment. Usually, before they get to that process, they will audit you. They'll ask you to either send documents in, or they'll meet with you with an auditor and request that you bring documents to that meeting. They'll sit down, try to figure out what the assessment should be, and work out a payment plan with you later.
Okay, and turning to you, is that something, you know, we were kind of talking about it earlier, and there are options, right, after you're assessed. A lot of people don't know those options. What are they?
Well, they're very broad, and they range all over the field. Basically, what they do is they'll send you a letter first, and the first letter will basically say, here are your changes. You know, if you don't agree with them, do this. And then they'll send you 5 letters after that, and basically they range from, you need to pay us, you need to pay us, and then their final letter is very important. That's the one where they will levy you if you don't pay your assessed taxes. Now, you can do many things, one of which is you can get an installment agreement with the IRS, and that basically will allow you to, you know, pay $500 a month for 12 months to pay off your debt. Also, depending on your finances, you can do currently non-collectible status, which basically allows you to, the IRS will forgive you for 2 years, not the debt, but will forgive the money that you owe for 2 years, and then when you're in better financial situations or what have it, they'll come back and allow you to pay the taxes back.
How many people a year get audited, and is there a certain group that's more targeted than the other? Is the middle class more targeted, the lower income? What do you guys think?
Well, right now what the IRS has done, they've increased their workforce by between 20 and 30%, and they're targeting mostly medium to larger sized businesses. However, they still are auditing individuals as well, but for an individual, an average income individual, the chance of being audited is somewhere around 8 to 10% usually. Okay.
And, I mean, the group of people who they choose to audit, if you've been audited once, I think your chances of being audited again increase like 100%. So that's a big group of people.
And there are red flags. If you take a lot of deductions on your return, a lot of times they'll look at that and say, well, we need to investigate to see if they have the receipts for these deductions. So that there are some things you can do that put you at a high risk.
Is there a high percentage of people that you know, say, oh, well, we forgot to do that, or oh, we just wrote that wrong, or I mean, that they really didn't, that it was an on-purpose kind of thing?
Usually, it's mostly an accident. Individuals don't try to evade taxes for the most part, we found. But the IRS does have the option, if they found that you attempted to criminally evade taxes, then you lose certain rights, such as statute of limitations. They can come back and assess you for years ago, up to 10 years ago, or even longer, if you have actually criminally evaded your taxes.
Wow. Now, Taylor, is there anything viewers at home that are listening to you guys now can do in their taxes for next year that can help protect them, or, you know, save your receipts? Obviously, that's a big one.
Save your receipts. I guess the most important thing would be to be as accurate as possible, because when you put a number on your return and it's very like even, you know, it's like, oh, $40,000 on your return, that's a red flag for them. If it's like $43,000, $450, you know, dollars and 20 cents, that's very specific, and they'll look at that and be like, oh, well, he knows what he's talking about. But if it's like very even, they'll red flag it and be like, well, why is this so general? You know, we need to look into this further.
That's interesting. I never thought of that. Is it better to file, like, if you've, you know, a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, most families now, you've got 2 working parents. Is it better to file jointly? Is it better to file, do you get a better tax break if you filed married but individual, or is married together? I mean, how does it matter?
No, you actually get more tax breaks if you file married and jointly. There are some instances in which individuals choose to remain unmarried if they're going to get welfare benefits. But as far as taxes go, it's better to file jointly.
Okay. Gentlemen, where can people get more information if they want to talk to you guys?
They can contact us through our website, which is www.pmhfirm.com. They can also call our main office at 205-352-9764.
Okay. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
We appreciate the segment. Ask the Attorneys. We always have